Hi, guys. Good afternoon, and welcome back once again to the EdWord. I'm your host, Eddie, and in today's video, I'll be discussing what I thought of the latest and most shocking episode yet of our new favorite Marvel show, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The new episode dropped a few days ago on Friday. I, however, was pretty busy the past 2 days. It's been a full weekend, and I finally had a chance to watch the latest episode earlier today, and I'd love to share my thoughts with you guys. But before I do that, please be warned, this is a spoiler, and I mean spoiler-filled review for Falcon and Winter Soldier, because this one was quite a doozy. So if you're not caught up, do not keep watching or listening to this video, as I will be discussing big spoilers. You have been warned. That being said, let's dive right back into it. First and foremost, did anybody else get vibes of Homelander from the show The Boys during this episode? Because I sure as hell did, with John Walker. Well, I thought it was interesting how they wrapped up the super soldier serum storyline fairly quickly, by which I mean Zemo destroyed all the vials except one, the one that of course John Walker found and then injected into himself, and now he is really Captain America 2.0 with the strength and everything. Unfortunately, he's far more aggressive and not as level-headed as Steve Rogers was, as we saw when he brutally murdered that flag smasher with the shield in full view of dozens of witnesses and Carly and Sam and Bucky. I mean, damn, that guy straight up murdered him. You know, I thought at first, perhaps like when he raised the shield up, that he was like gonna chop his head off completely, but then I realized, nah, this ain't Walking Dead or Game of Thrones. This is Disney. This is Marvel. They'll give us implied violence without showing us gratuitous violence. And in my opinion, it worked. I mean, just showing the shield dripping with blood and just hearing the blows land one after another and seeing the shocked looks on everybody's faces while they're recording with their phones, you know, it was enough to let us know what was happening. You know, of course, he's just like standing there puffing, like, you know, looking all scary within his costume with blood dripping from the shield. It was very reminiscent of the character Homelander. And I'll stop making that reference in case anybody hasn't seen The Boys, which you should watch because that too is an excellent show. But getting back to this excellent show, I absolutely loved it when the Dora Milaje showed up. I just thought Ayo was just going to take Zemo out on her own, but then she brought backup because of course she would, and I love that line too. The Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever they may be. I was like, yes, hell yeah. Oh, that was great. Did not expect the whole little boop of the arm, and it's like it like unsockets itself from him like he's a toy soldier or something, and then he could just reattach it. Good to know for future reference, I guess. I really enjoyed that fight scene between the Dora Milaje and Battlestar and Walker, and then Sam and Bucky eventually stepping in. But I thought it was kind of funny how they kind of took a step back and just watched the fight unfold for a little bit at first. I really loved how it was Io who agreed to watch him to make sure that she would be there to subdue and stop him in case reciting the trigger words activated him again during that flashback in Wakanda. Well, thankfully it didn't. But it was a good way to show us just how deep these two, their bond really is with one another. Like, they do seem to be pretty close allies, and Bucky speaking Wakandan was pretty cool too, which would make sense since he lived there for several years prior to Infinity War and Endgame, and of course to this show. So, very good episode. I really like how they're painting Carly as a gray character, not someone as black and white as a good guy or a bad guy. Like, there are things about her that are a kind of morally upstanding, and then there are things about her that aren't exactly morally upstanding. But I really do like the fact that they're making her, you know, not so black and white as a straight up villain or as a straight up good guy. Because, you know, the characters that are in a gray area, that are a little bit of both, tend to be the most interesting and the most fun to watch. So it will be interesting to see what her fate ultimately becomes. Will she get the same fate as her friend, the flag smasher who was killed by John Walker? Or will she be taken alive by Sam and Bucky, who was like proving to be more trusting? I love that they referred to Sam's old job as a grief therapy counselor for veterans suffering from PTSD. That was a cool reference and a great reminder to us all, because I'd almost forgotten until they mentioned it. It would make total sense to send him in as the negotiator. And I think things were going so well if that prick Walker hadn't barged in and ruined everything. but that's what makes entertaining TV. So I'm excited. I can't believe we only have 2 episodes left, and I'm very, very curious as to see what the fallout and the aftermath is going to be from Walker publicly killing this guy in such a brutal manner. This is going to be a PR nightmare for the American government, for any other Avengers that might be around, even though they're not necessarily like a team or a unit anymore. The ones who are still alive and on Earth, if they see this, they're going to be like, ooh. So I'm excited. Really liked this episode. I love seeing the Dora Milaje kick a lot of ass. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did. What did you think of it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and your opinions down below in the comments section. Only 2 more episodes left, both of them dropping over the next 2 Fridays on Disney Plus. Don't miss it. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great rest of your day if I don't see you. And of course, until next time, Wakanda forever.